What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. Today, we are going to be talking about 3 running backs that I like in Week 10 and 3 running backs that I dislike in Week 10. And oh, by the way, we're doing a giveaway as well, so make sure you stay tuned for more information on that. But without wasting any more time, let's hop right into the guys that I like first. Now, the first player that I like and that I want to talk about today is going to be Joe Mixon of the Cincinnati Bengals. And Joe Mixon is currently sitting inside of my top 5 running backs on the week. And so I do think that he is going to be a running back 1 for your fantasy football teams here in his matchup against the Houston Texans. And we now have 2 straight finishes for Joe Mixon inside of the top 10, more specifically, even inside of the top 8. And as we look at what's been going on for Joe Mixon during this period, it's been 2 games where he has been the top 10 in attempts and receptions in the NFL. Again, over those last 2 games, and he's getting a good amount of goal line carries as well. So this is projected to be a high scoring game. I think it's the second highest scoring game projection on the week as far as the sports books are concerned. And so I think there's going to be a lot of scoring opportunities here for Joe Mixon, and the Houston Texans are a bottom 10 run defense. So it all spells as good things for Joe Mixon here in week 10. And because of that, he is a top 5 play at the position for me and a running back 1 for your fantasy football lineups. Now, the second player that I'm going to be starting in my fantasy football leagues this week is going to be Rachaad White of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he plays against the Tennessee Titans here. I think he's a top 12 play at the position, again, making him a low-end running back 1 for your fantasy football teams. And we had Rachaad White as a start of the week last week, and he ended up finishing as the running back 1 overall. He is going to be a repeat offender for us here this week. I love the matchup for Rachaad White. We now have 3 straight weeks as a running back 1 or better for fantasy football. And not only do I think he is a great start for your fantasy football teams this week, I think he's a great buy for playoff teams or potential playoff teams here as we go down the stretch, because I think he is going to continue to give you running back 1 numbers or high-end running back 2 numbers the rest of the way, and I just don't think he's being valued as so. Now, as we look at some of the stats for Rachaad White, he is averaging 11 yards per reception, which is like elite numbers for your running backs. Over the last couple weeks, 6 targets, 7 targets, 4 targets, and he's getting a lot of work on the ground as well. So Rachaad White, he is going to be a top 12 option for me this week against the Tennessee Titans, and again, a low-end running back 1 for your fantasy football teams. And now the third player that I want to talk about as a potential start for your fantasy football leagues this week is going to be Javonte Williams of the Denver Broncos, and he plays on the road against the Buffalo Bills. And to me, this is a top 15 play at the running back position this week, making him a high-end running back 2 for your fantasy football teams. And we know that as this year has went on, Javonte Williams has been working his way into this offense post-injury. He did suffer that knee injury. It seems like forever ago, but he's been working his way back up to a full workload. And it does seem like they unleashed him in week 8, right before the bye. He had 30 opportunities against the Kansas City Chiefs, 27 rushing attempts and 3 targets in that game, finished as the running back 9 on the week. And so I think fresh off of this bye, where he does have a matchup where they're going to need to play keep up against the Buffalo Bills, I think we are getting to the point of the season where Javonte Williams' workload is going to be a full workload each and every week. And to me, this is a guy who is going to be super efficient with his carries. He's going to have opportunities to score the football. And like I said, they're going to have to play keep up in a game this week against the Buffalo Bills. And again, a top 15 option at the position. What's good, guys? I just had to take a second to let you guys know that I am giving away 3 NFL Legends jerseys over in my Discord. Just make sure you hit the link in the description to go over there and enter this giveaway. But we are giving away a Ricky Williams jersey, a Chad Ochocinco jersey, and a Michael Vick jersey. The only thing you have to do is be a member of that Discord. If you want to show us some love, you want to show us some support over here on the channel, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. But the only thing you need to do is go enter that Discord, and you can win yourself one of these jerseys that we are giving away on Thanksgiving Day. So as you guys can see, make sure you go join that Discord, make sure you enter the giveaway. But that's not what we're here for today. Let's talk about the 3 guys that I dislike, or 3 guys that I think are risky for your lineups here in week 10. And we're going to be starting with James Cook for the Buffalo Bills. And James Cook, to me, he's going to be a low-end running back 2 this week, maybe a high-end running back 3. I have him outside of my top 20 running backs on the week. And this does look to be an easy matchup for James Cook. And I know it sounds hypocritical because Denver is the easiest running back matchup for running back so far this year, but I just don't like James Cook right now. Latavius Murray and Leonard Fournette, it does show that this Bills offense is looking for more out of the running back position. Obviously, Latavius Murray has been there. He's been getting early down work, goal line work. Josh Allen is still getting goal line work. And then they signed Leonard Fournette, and I think Leonard Fournette actually looks pretty good. I don't know if he's going to be activated this week, but if he is, it is just another red flag for James Cook. We now have 4 out of 5 weeks here where James Cook has finished outside of the top 30 running backs for fantasy football. I just don't see the upside for James Cook, even in a matchup this good. I think there's zero touchdown upside for James Cook in this offense. He's really lacking goal line work, and I just don't like the volume that James Cook is getting in this running back room. So overall, he's sitting outside of my top 20 running backs on the week, and I think that's a little generous, probably mainly because of the matchup, but I just think he is going to be a low-end running back 2 or a running back 3 for your fantasy football lineups this week. And another player that I'm going to be avoiding in my fantasy football leagues this week is going to be James Conner of the Arizona Cardinals. He's currently sitting outside of my top 25 running backs, which is going to make him a low-end running back 2, maybe a high-end running back 3 play for you as well. Kind of similar to how I'm viewing James Cook. The only difference with James Conner here is it does look like he's trending to play. We know he is fresh off of this IR stint. Now, maybe he doesn't play and this whole take just gets thrown out the window, but all signs are pointing to James Conner playing this week. We know Kyler Murray is back in the lineup. The only issue for both of these guys is really with James Conner, the Atlanta defense is one of the better run defenses in the NFL. They're only allowing 14.7 fantasy points per game to the running back position, and I think James Conner is a fine play most weeks. He's probably going to give you running back 2 numbers, but in this matchup where he could potentially be on a snap count where they kind of ease him back into action and a tough defense, I currently have him sitting outside of my top 25, and for that reason, I think there's going to be other players that you could potentially look at that have a higher ceiling than James Conner this week. Now, the third player that I am going to be avoiding in my fantasy football leagues this week is going to be Gus Edwards of the Baltimore Ravens, and I currently have him sitting outside of my top 30 running backs on the week, which is going to make him a mid running back 3 for your fantasy football leagues. And I know Gus Edwards has been on a tear lately. He has now had 3 straight weeks where he has been a running back 1 or better, and in those weeks, he's averaging 2 touchdowns per game, 6 touchdowns in the last 3. It's unreal touchdown numbers from Gus Edwards as of lately, but I just don't expect that to stick long term. Those touchdowns aren't very sticky stats, and I do think with the emergence of Keaton Mitchell last week, there is going to be a little bit more murkiness to this backfield, a backfield where Gus Edwards was already not getting a huge workload. It's been fine, but it wasn't a huge workload for him overall. And last but not least, this is a very bad matchup for running backs. This Cleveland run defense is number 4 against the running back position. So again, I think Gus Edwards is going to be kind of this touchdown dependent option where if you have been banking on that over the last couple weeks, you would have cashed out pretty heavily. It's just, I don't expect those 2 touchdown games to continue happening for Gus Edwards. And because of that, he is going to be sitting as a running back 3 for me this week outside of my top 30 running backs. Now, for those of you following along at home, you know we are partnered here with Underdog Fantasy. So if you do want to take some of the data that you found out today and put them into a pick and play over here on Underdog, we like these over here. It is going to be the Javonte Williams 75.5 rushing and receiving. That is going to be the higher. Joe Mixon, the higher than the half rushing and receiving touchdown. And then I also like the higher on the 14.5 rushing attempts for Rachaad White. So if you landed 3 out of 3 on those ones, I think it is going to be 6 times your entry, if I'm remembering that correctly. And again, if you want to sign up and take those plays, go ahead and sign up using code LEAGUEFFB. When you do, that will give you a 100% deposit match up to $100, and you will also get a free mystery pick and play. So again, if you do want to sign up for Underdog Fantasy, make sure you are using code LEAGUEFFB when you sign up, or you can use the link in the description. Either works. But those are the plays that we are going to be taking this week. Now, with all of that being said, I don't have anything else for you guys today. Make sure you do all that good YouTube stuff for us. Make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, do all of those things for us, and make sure you're also a member of that Discord so you can enter to win one of these jerseys. And with all of that out of the way, I don't have anything else for you guys today, so I will see you on our next video. But until then, peace out.